After all, the first time he entered Burial Realm, there was a powerful reaction, as if Willow deity was still here. That type of fluctuations and divine patterns were incomparably great. Cao Yusheng nodded and said, "That's good as well. Actually, blindly going into isolation cultivation now isn't the best choice. As far as I know, a few ancient freaks would walk around after cultivating in isolation for a bit, exploring the mountains, rivers, creatures, and all types of different styles within the various small worlds, to the extent where they might even take the risk to visit native tribes. Everything is for the sake of broadening their insights." Burial Realm had 4 well-known ancient lands, all of them previously producing precious items. The earth layer had been dyed in the blood of ancient creatures, sturdy and unordinary. The stone forest doesn't have much left. "Let's go to an ancient place, Burial City," the little fatty said. "I really hope we can find something. If we can dig out some immortal Tao scriptures, that would really be great." The divine striking stone drooled. "Stop daydreaming," Shahao said. "It might not be a complete fantasy, it's actually quite possible." Cao Yusheng said. "It was because in the past, there really was someone who dug up half of a book of scriptures, obtaining heaven-defying natural luck. I want to eat an immortal medicine. Even a single stalk would be great." The little rabbit wiped away the drool coming from its mouth, looking like quite the glutton. "That kind of thing really does exist," Qing Yi said. She mentioned how Divine Temple's ancient holy child had previously discovered a chaotic pool that had mysterious liquid. Someone had previously said that it might be a miraculous liquid produced by heaven and earth, and others said that the pool most likely merged with a dead immortal medicine. Only, it was difficult to say if the chaotic pond was discovered in Burial Realm. Burial City, an ancient city, one of the 4 great ancient lands. The trip went quite smoothly without any unexpected events. They directly hurried over to the ancient place. Even though it was called a city, there were no city walls here, just a large open market. It was extremely bustling. There weren't only streets and massive structures. There were also rocky mountains and mountain areas flourishing with plant life in between the lively areas. Generally speaking, this place was disorderly and messy. It was as if there were many open markets pieced together, and just like that, an enormous ancient city was constructed. Did you all hear? Heavenly Country's number 2 assassin was killed. Truly shocking news. What's so special about that? News of this already went about a while ago. Forget about him, the number 1 assassin was even chased away by Huang, not daring to take action. Divine Temple Ancient Holy Child's holy beast was also captured and killed. As soon as he arrived in this place, Shahao's group heard all types of discussions. Those people were all shocked. That's the Centaur race, an ancient fiend race. The little rabbit felt as if her 2 eyes weren't enough to take everything in. It was because the races she saw were the creatures of immortal ancient great era that had only been recorded in bone books. In this region, apart from many outsiders, there was a large number of natives who set up booths in the open market as well to exchange various divine treasures and other things. Be careful, this is one of the few cities with large numbers of natives. Cao Yusheng explained. The natives were quite strange. Normally, few walked out from their tribes, and only in a few enormous cities in certain small worlds would a large amount of them roam about. What kind of secrets were there exactly? Even now, those from the outside world didn't know. Divine Temple's people have appeared. Suddenly, Qing Yi said softly. She saw a few people stand in the distance, and then quickly leave. It can't be that fast, right? Can it be that ancient holy child already took that step and came out from isolation? Cao Yusheng's mind was shaken. They had just arrived in Burial City. Could it be that another great storm was already stirring? Shahao closed his eyes, silently sensing his surroundings. I can feel that there is an extremely terrifying expert in this city. Divine Temple's people have left, not coming over, Qing Yi said. She had a feeling that she just caught sight of trouble brewing. There might be a great battle coming. That gold-marked white tiger was Divine Temple's holy beast. They definitely wouldn't just ignore it being killed like this. Shahao didn't chase after them, not attaching much importance to them. Ancient Holy Child was the only one noteworthy. So what if he took that step? If he dared to appear, he'll give him a pleasant surprise. After all, he already cultivated a strand of immortal energy. Divine Temple is truly frightening. Their 9 heavens 10th earth scriptures known to be an unmatched inheritance, Cao Yusheng said. Shahao nodded, already understanding a bit about this ancient inheritance. That temple wasn't all that large or vast, but it existed throughout time, consecrating 3 divine statues. It was rumored that those were 3 great indestructible statues that represented utmost power. Someone had said that those were immortal lords from immortal ancient times, and others said that they were the undecaying divine ancestors of the divine Tao era. There were even some that said that they were unmatched heavenly emperors that would rule the heavens above and earth below. Burial City, a place filled with open markets, people constantly coming and going. The fact that this little world had immortal treasures was no longer a secret. Many creatures appeared here after news was leaked out. There were vendors' booths everywhere, all types of goods laid out. Cultivators were exchanging for what they needed. In the city, there were large areas of dark red mountainous ground, the color caused by the contamination of immortal blood, left behind from the ancient battles. There are many creatures coming and going, all of them searching for certain things. The underground in this place is the most incredible. Someone dug out half a book of immortal scriptures here. Cao Yusheng explained. Moreover, it was rumored that the immortal Tao shrub 10 Crown King obtained was also obtained, because he found a vague recording on a jade bone book here. He only found it after later searching for it. As a result, creatures from the outside world flocked over, entering Burial City, all of them wishing to obtain great natural luck. Meanwhile, this was also the place where the natives exchanged for what they needed, so it became an extremely bustling place. Suddenly, Shahao raised his head, feeling a somewhat strange feeling. A chilliness suddenly appeared within his body. This type of feeling was extremely weird, appearing mysteriously. The sword core in Shahao's hand hacked down onto that blood sword. The noise produced a splitting, heavenly deity bone. His mind trembled. This sword was unexpectedly refined from the primordial true bone of a heavenly deity. Only one of these swords could be refined from each heavenly deity, truly a shockingly extravagant item. If not for his sword core being heaven-defying enough, the last strike would have really been troublesome. It was because this was a heavenly deity magical artifact. It was clear that the heavenly deity bone was far inferior to the everlasting immortal sword's material, but it possessed terrifying restrictive force, using symbols to protect the bone sword and attack Shahao's unmatched sword core. The everlasting immortal sword resisted the strike of this restrictive power. Immortal gold possessed strange abilities, able to protect itself, not allowing the sword core to be damaged. Despite this being the case, Shahao also brought out the pill furnace to defend himself. After all, this was a heavenly deity-level magical artifact, its restrictive force too terrifying. He protected his body with the pill furnace and used the sword core to attack, cutting towards the scarlet red bone. At this moment, everyone could move again. They quickly backed up out of fear of getting caught up in this terrifying battle. The scarlet bone sword dripped out blood, clearly heavenly country's methods. It released incomparable fluctuations, shaking this place. This scarlet bone sword was a bit strange. It was absorbing the power of the void, making its symbols even more resplendent. Shahao's mind shook. He quickly hacked apart the void with the sword core, about to sweep it inside. In addition, he shouted, "Everyone, withdraw from this place." This place exploded, because the bleeding bone sword began to burn. The light it released was resplendent, blasting itself to pieces here. It was too vicious. For the sake of killing Shahao, heavenly country's people directly used up a heavenly deity magical artifact, willing to destroy everything indiscriminately to bury Shahao's true body here. When the smoke and dust cleared, the open market was flattened. The ground was bloody, with many creatures dead. Even though a large group of people left ahead of time, there were still quite a few casualties. Within Burial City, a human head fell from the void, landing in the open market, drawing cries of alarm. They fell one after another, a total of 6 heads flung onto the ground, blood dyeing the streets. Then, Shahao appeared, landing in this place. He was extremely sensitive towards the auras of heavenly country's assassins. After moving about, he found that there were 6 people nearby. Unfortunately, he didn't find the main character. Heavenly country's #1 assassin used a realm-shattering symbol ahead of time to escape again. He really does know how to act appropriately. The creatures in this open market are all from the outside world. Otherwise, he would have provoked a huge disaster, since the native tribes have extremely terrifying experts overseeing them, still dare to come. Shahao shouted angrily. His head of hair began to drift about, his eyes intimidating. He held the sword core, rushing into the air, hacking apart the void. White light flickered there. A white bone appeared, releasing sinister fluctuations to kill Shahao. Below, everyone already scattered, fleeing towards other markets, not daring to stay here. In the sky, white light shone blindingly. One could vaguely see a white bone mountain appearing, countless malicious spirits howling with grief as they stood on it, their roars shaking the sky. Underworld mist covered the sun and moon. This is Underworld clan's secret treasure. Qing Yi said. It was a magic artifact refined from endless white bones and souls, its power beyond compare. It produced Underworld clan's killing field here to trap and kill Shahao. Shahao carried the sword as he moved, his heroicness incomparable. Above his head was the pill furnace, symbols protecting his body. The sword core in his hands hacked apart the killing field, slicing through the white bone banner at the center, breaking down this formation. He displayed exceptional valiance. They really don't treat heavenly deity secret treasures as anything important. Another one was destroyed. The divine striking stone cried out, "Everlasting immortal sword's name is not in vain, worthy of being the artifact that had its glorious legends recorded in bone books." Even though it didn't produce heavenly deity level patterns, it is still shocking enough that Pill Furnace is also quite mysterious. No, the most important thing is still that Shahao is powerful enough himself. Qing Yi, the little rabbit, and Cao Yuxing discussed among themselves. It was unexpectedly Underworld clan's experts that attacked, wishing to kill Shahao here, taking advantage of the situation, after seeing him slightly relax after experiencing a disaster, but they still failed in the end, unable to harm him in the slightest. After Shahao cultivated a strand of immortal energy, his divine senses were sharp, able to develop a strange reaction towards incoming dangers. Normal assassinations attempts were practically useless against him. Dao brother is truly heroic, rarely seen in this world, admirable. Someone walked over, cupping his fists and carrying a smiling expression. This was a male who looked 30 or so years old. On his back was a pair of grey-colored wings, and on his head a pair of dragon horns. He was clearly not an ordinary individual. When he saw this person approach him with a smiling face, Shahao naturally wouldn't ignore him, cupping his fists and greeting him as well. Cao Yuxing, Qing Yi, and the others walked over to size up this person. This isn't a good place to talk. Dao brothers, I wonder if you could lend me some of your time. The person who came invited them in a cordial manner. He also introduced himself as Long Yu. In the end, they entered a small wine shop that was quiet, thus beginning their discussion. Huang's name is great. I've long heard about your reputation and admire you quite greatly. Long Yu's words then turned, becoming direct. Fellow Taoists, to be quite honest, I came in place of my family's great one hoping to form an alliance with you all. Who is your family's great one? Shahao asked. Jun Dao. He said softly, speaking this name. Since my situation is unfavorable, why do you all still wish to ally with me? Moreover, by joining like this, I fear that you all will only be inviting trouble upon yourselves. Shahao said, we attach importance to Dao brothers' potential, believing that you will come out on top. Moreover, our relationships with those parties aren't all that great either. Our side is actually quite strong, not lacking experts. Also, Fallen Divine Child is about to take the final step. The one who came said, Fallen Divine Child. Shahao narrowed his eyes slightly. This name wasn't unfamiliar to him. His two senior brothers had previously been humiliated and chased away by this person, causing them to leave Supreme Being Dao right. Ancient freaks all move alone, believing themselves to be unsurpassed. Why would they wish for an alliance? Shahao asked, the situation is critical. Some people took the initiative to form an alliance, so if others fall behind, they will be in danger. For example, Dao brother, even though is brilliant, comparable to ancient heavenly talents, if two individuals join up, or if three attack you at the same time, will you be able to protect yourself? Long Yu said. Shahao smiled, but didn't say anything. I understand that brother's strength is truly enough to overlook the present world. However, this is true for any one of those kings. They were all the first among their generation. Long Yu explained further when he saw that Shahao didn't seem to agree. The ancient kings, apart from 10 Crown King, if they don't take that step, won't be much weaker than the other. If 2 or 3 individuals joined up to attack a single party, then that would definitely be fatal. That is why even though brother is powerful, it is still best if you ally with a few comrades. Shahao nodded, not saying anything. Cao Yuxing, Qing Yi, and the others stood off to the side, not expressing any opinions. They were greatly shocked. Ancient freaks were finally coming, viewing Shahao as one of them. Brother should ally with us, because only then can you ensure your protection in Immortal Ancient, as well as fight for the ultimate great natural luck. Long Yu said, conciliating a step further I can consider it. However, these trifling heavenly country assassins and others still aren't worth much attention. Shahao calmly said, Dao brother, do not look down on heavenly country. They are actually the most dangerous. That number one assassin is extremely powerful, enough to pose a bit of threat to ancient kings. However, the truly frightening one is heavenly country's ancient freak. If he takes action, even 10 Crown King and Ning Chuan have to treat him seriously. Long Yu warned seriously, could it be that he will take the final step? Shahao asked, from that person's abilities, he definitely can. Long Yu said, oh. Shahao didn't express his opinion on this statement. The divine striking stone felt extremely uncomfortable. It really wanted to say that Huang already took that step, but it couldn't say it, because they were going to use this misconception to bury their enemies of this world. Divine Temple's ancient Holy Child's 9 heavens 10th earth scriptures are unexplainable, powerful to a ridiculous degree. When he spoke up to here, he emphasized this. He then mentioned Underworld Earth. Divine Dark Child isn't an ancient freak, but he is even more powerful. There is this type of saying. Qing Yi asked. Understanding a bit more about one's enemies was always a good thing. Immortal Ancient is going to become chaotic, Cao Yusheng said. Shahao finally nodded. That's fine. I wish to immediately eliminate Heavenly Country and Underworld Earth's people. I wonder if those on your side can find them and take action as well. Long Yu stared blankly, saying, Dao brother is too impatient. How terrifying is Heavenly Country's ancient freak. Underworld Earth's divine dark child is even more strange. So we need time to make a decision, acting so indecisively. How long do you all want to wait? Could it be that you wish to see them take that step? Shahao said. Long Yu shook his head. How could the final step be that easy to take? Not even many among ancient kings could accomplish it. When he spoke up to here, he paused slightly and then said, it isn't that we cannot take action. As long as we have certainty, then we can deliver a thunderous blow. What is considered certainty? The little rabbit blinked with her large eyes, naturally someone on our side taking that step. Daoist Jun Dao is in isolation cultivation, his current status unknown, but fallen divine child definitely can, about to succeed. Long Yu said. This left Qing Yi and Cao Yusheng shocked. They were quite familiar with these people, and as expected, they were indeed astonishing, overlooking many heroes of both past and present. Fallen divine child was someone from thousands of years ago, the one first in the last immortal ancient opening. That was his first time participating, yet he killed 2 ancient freaks, shocking the world, about to take that step. Truly quite formidable. Shahao said. This wasn't mockery, but real admiration. Only when one personally experienced it would they understand how terrifying it was. Long Yu said, I previously heard that Dao brother obtained an immortal body not long ago. If Jun Dao Great One and the others can study it together, we will definitely be able to make progress in our breakthroughs. Fallen Divine Child Great One might be able to break through and succeed even sooner. Soon after, he hurriedly added, I understand that this is rather presumptuous, but the situation calls for it. We need to hurry and take that step, or else there will be great danger. Also, I believe the 2 Great Ones won't study it without giving you anything in return, definitely exchanging with supreme treasures of equal value. Oh. What kind of great treasures exactly? I really am looking forward to it. If the value is extraordinary, I don't mind bringing out the immortal corpse for them to study. Shahao said. When Long Yu heard this, he felt a bit excited, saying, good. I will leave right now and inform Great One. I promise that Dao brother will be satisfied. Please wait for me in Burial City. He got up and immediately left, not wishing to delay for even a moment. He left Burial Realm through a realm-shattering symbol. It is difficult to follow his trail. The divine striking stone said. After speaking about these things, he then said, one more thing, Long Yu understands too little about me, not knowing that there is enmity between fallen divine child and myself at all. Everyone became stupefied. That fallen divine child was an incomparably terrifying individual, killing a 3-crown king during his first entrance into Immortal Ancient, leaving the entire world shocked and in an uproar. Within an unknown small world, an ancient place where multicolored clouds surged. In the mountain depths, within an ancient cave, Jun Dao opened his eyes. He looked at fallen divine child who appeared before him and said, your strength has improved again, immortal energy already vaguely appearing, about to succeed. It truly leaves me shocked and envious. In the ancient cave, chaotic energy swirled about, everything hazy. Fallen divine child sat down. When his eyes opened and closed, there were scenes of deities dying and devils falling. That was his Tao. What? You are about to succeed. Jun Dao's eyes revealed light, and then he released a light sigh. Based on what he knew, roughly half of the ancient freaks had died, all of them because of falling on their own paths. Yet now, the fallen divine child before him was about to have immortal energy wrapped around him, transcending above. I fear that at the final moments, the most terrifying strangeness and inauspicious would take place. So I am seriously making preparations, not daring to rashly attempt at it to prevent my body and Tao vanishing. Fallen divine child replied, perhaps you are overthinking things. If my suspicions are not mistaken, recently, a few changes have taken place in Immortal Ancient. The strangeness have temporarily retreated. Jun Dao said, why do you say as such? Fallen divine child's eyes released divine radiance, you really are exceptional. Those who were able to truly transcend above are perhaps only 10 Crown King, Ning Chuan, and a few others like yourself. Jun Dao sighed, I am going to cultivate in isolation now. After taking that step, I'll help you get the immortal corpse so you can study it. Right now, I cannot be distracted, don't have time to go out and kill. Fallen divine child got up. I am about to attack at the limit. You should wait patiently a bit. Let me see if the ominous and inauspicious truly no longer exist. Jun Dao said. When fallen divine child heard this, he nodded. A day later, Jun Dao emerged, his Dao path advanced, once again proceeding along his own road. There were no ominous or inauspicious phenomenons that appeared. Jun Dao said, it seems like something strange truly did happen. The horrifying disaster didn't appear again. Fallen divine child, you should go into isolation, but don't be careless. Even though the inauspicious and ominous aren't appearing, subduing one's own Tao is what is important. Those like us have mostly died on their own great paths. Don't worry, I will definitely succeed and come out in 2 days to help you acquire the immortal corpse. Fallen divine child turned around to leave. If fallen divine child knows that you came, then he will likely take action. The little fatty said, fallen divine Ridge's number 1 is powerful beyond compare. There's so many legends around him. Wow, I'm finally going to meet him. The little rabbit cried out with wah-wah sounds. Which side are you even on? Shahao tapped her on the head with a dong sound, Ayaya. You dare flick me? The little rabbit stared with her large red eyes, directly stamping with her foot. The street next to the wine shop immediately caved in with a hong sound. However, this didn't draw any attention. Battles often broke out in Burial City, and buildings being destroyed was an extremely normal thing. I'll wait for him to appear. Shahao said. He always wanted to demand an explanation for his 2 senior brothers. If fallen divine child wanted to kill him, then it was the perfect time to settle accounts. Go, let's take a look around as well, see if there's any natural luck to be gotten. The divine striking stone said. Cao Yusheng led the way, heading towards another region. Burial City didn't have walls. It was extremely large and incomparably bustling. There were open markets and old city districts, a place where people good and bad were mixed together. There were people of all different types. Aside from this, the city had mountain regions as well. They were dark red in color, left behind from the battle of the last great era. There were many rare treasures buried beneath the earth. Only, the earth was too hard, difficult to cut apart. Despite this being the case, this place had still been plowed through again and again by people since the ancient times, not willing to let any wondrous items go. What was shocking was that even though this was all they could do, a few good things still appeared from time to time. A bead that's scarlet red like blood. Heavens, someone dug up something good. Don't tell me that it is some condensed blood essence left behind by some unmatched existence after its death. After wandering about for an hour, cries of alarm sounded from within the mountain region. Then, a battle erupted here. Someone took action to fight over the blood bead. Shahao and the others frowned. This was definitely not some good place. Even if someone had some kind of harvest, if one didn't have the strength to keep it, they still couldn't bring it away. There will still be life-enduring worries. The one who discovered it died, killed without even being allowed to speak a sentence. A group of people began to fight over the blood bead. What was pitiful was that later on, they found that even though it was a blood essence bead, the divine essence inside had long dried up, so it wasn't all that valuable. Ever since they arrived, Shahao's heavenly eyes had been opened this entire time, the symbols within his pupils resplendent, continuously staring at this region. Unfortunately, they didn't find any divine treasures. There were a few weapon fragments and normal artifacts, but at his stage, he didn't need these types of precious materials at all. People have visited this place since ancient times. So what else can remain? Let's just change locations. Shahao shook his head. Fatty, are you even useful? I thought you were some big shot around these parts, yet in the end, you brought us to this kind of place that has already been searched through 100 times over. The little rabbit grumbled. Burial City isn't simple. There are too many mysteries, and there is one place that definitely has good stuff. It has been surrounded by irregular scenes for thousands of eras, it's just that not many people dare enter. Qingyi revealed a faint smile. Black Abyss was located at the center of Burial City. When one looked downwards, it was dark and black, simply impossible to see the bottom. One would only be greeted by darkness. This place is a bit scary. The divine striking stone was a bit speechless. It was a stone, yet when it saw this place, it still felt like breaking into a cold shiver. The depths of the abyss was, just like the name stated, extremely dark, giving others a fear or dread. They could vaguely hear woo-woo sounds from the innermost depths, as if something was weeping. At the same time, wisps of colorful splendor would emerge from the bottom of the abyss from time to time, the strange scene astonishing. There are those who speculate that an immortal artifact fell into this dark abyss, waiting for people to pick it up. What a pity, no one can go down. An elder on the side said with a sigh, who would even be able to do such a thing? Great Senior has previously surmised that there is an endless distance between the immortal artifact and the surface of the earth, to the extent where it is sealed within this world. Another person said with a sigh. There were many creatures in the surroundings. They all looked over from the distance. Not many dared to head down. It was because this place was too dangerous. Most of those who went down would die, difficult to return alive. It was known as Burial Realm's most dangerous area. This place is quite strange. There are divine objects beneath the earth, but a type of aura separates everything. Divine senses cannot penetrate it. Shahao said with a frown, correct, this place is the most terrifying. Standing on the surface is still fine, but if one went down, divine senses cannot be released at all, or else they will be devoured. Cao Yusheng said. Black Abyss had a diameter of 10,000 zhong. It was pitch black like ink, its walls ancient and rough. Since it appeared, no one had truly reached the very bottom since ancient times. Not even the ancient great figures of the natives, those sectmaster-level terrifying beings were enough. It was rumored that in the endless past, the most powerful figures had previously joined hands to enter the Black Abyss, but they never returned. Towards the natives, this was already a taboo area. The most powerful experts of their clans never stepped foot here again. There really are a lot of people here, the divine striking stone muttered. Creatures packed the area around the Black Abyss, all of them looking downwards. There are quite a few natives. Qingyi was shocked. Each time Immortal Ancient opens, there will be some natives guarding this place. If outsiders bring back anything from below, they are willing to use shockingly precious things to exchange for them. Centaur race, all of their figures massive, half man half horse, enormous bows on their backs. It was rumored that this race's most powerful being could shoot down the sun. Ancient fiend race, all of them pitch black like ink. They had scales over their body, their appearances sinister and terrifying. No outsiders were willing to offend them. There were extremely terrifying existences among those clans. Shahao's eyes were in great pain. The heavenly eye symbols condensed, but there was still no way for him to see clearly. This place was extremely sinister, the strange natural laws and power of this abyss preventing him from seeing through. The heavenly eye lost effectiveness. This made him frown. The heavenly eye can be used at close range, but if one wishes to explore to the very bottom, then that definitely won't work. Cao Yusheng shook his head. Generally speaking, how far can a cultivator travel downwards? Qingyi asked, for example, how far would someone like me be able to go? The little rabbit also asked, wishing to go down to look around. This place is extremely strange and dangerous. If you are lucky, you'll travel even deeper than the sect masters, but if you aren't, then you might fall after just 100 zhong. Cao Yusheng explained. This Black Abyss stone walls were covered with strange symbols, appearing irregularly without any way to predict them. The further down one went, the more dangerous it became. In summary, for Divine Flame Realm cultivators, 100 zhong shouldn't pose any dangers, able to protect their own lives. So it's like that. Shahao nodded. He then inquired about quite a few more details. There's no need for you to go down. It's too risky. Qingyi frowned. I just have this feeling that this place is a bit strange, as if something is calling out to me. Only, the natural laws on the stone walls seal off this mystery, preventing me from clearly sensing it. Shahao said. He told the others to be careful, not to be assassinated by Heavenly Country's people. Don't worry, my killing formation has long been prepared. As soon as there's killing energy, it will automatically activate. There's formation banners everywhere. Cao Yusheng said. This time, Shahao didn't even bring the Divine Striking Stone, or the Emperor Butterfly, heading into the abyss alone. He wasn't the only one who entered. There were quite a few people along the Black Abyss's walls, all of them carefully crawling downwards. Only when entered would one notice that flight was harder than climbing to heaven. Good stuff. Who is this, actually bringing back a piece of ruined weapon fragment, with a small 10,000 methods stone embedded inside? When a creature came up, it drew cries of surprise. What was brought out was definitely good stuff. A group of natives immediately surrounded him, willing to exchange for it with many holy medicines. In this place, normally, no one used force, because there were natives enforcing order. Even though the competition between outsiders was fierce, they still didn't violate the taboo. Shahao glanced over. Without any hesitation, he climbed downwards like an ape, quickly traveling several dozen zhong. Sure enough, not only was flight impossible, he couldn't even reach out his divine senses, or else it would feel as if he was being cut by blades and receive serious damage. Fortunately, his primordial spirit had received a baptism, becoming incredibly powerful. He didn't suffer damage after a momentary test. However, Shahao still didn't dare extend out his divine will again, truly strange. Shahao was incredibly shocked. When he reached deeper, he couldn't even see as clearly as on the surface. There were mysterious symbols swirling about that blocked all forms of observation. When he was a bit further up, he could still see a bit ahead, but now that he was down here, his field of view rapidly shrunk. If he didn't use the heavenly eye, he would only be able to see the scene within a few zhong in front of him. Even with the martial Dao heavenly eye, he could only see 100 zhong out. This made him become even more careful. However, this made him much better off than the others. Quite a few cultivators were fumbling about, carefully trying things out. Their visible range was limited, fearing that they would encounter something dangerous. Sure enough, the first 100 zhong of distance was still considered safe. Even though there were mysterious symbols flickering about, attacking at one's body, it was still easily neutralized. It was clear that in this distance, there were no opportunities on the walls, with no artifacts visible. They had long been brought away by explorers of the past. Once one left this area of safety, the situation immediately worsened quite a bit. Shahao could feel that the rough and ice-cold cliffs carried strange and unsettling patterns. Not far out, an individual cried out, falling from the wall. His entire body shone, but he couldn't fly. His voice became weaker and weaker, all the way until it faded into the bottomless abyss. How frightening. A few people were horrified. When he reached 150 zhong, the number of individuals on the walls was much fewer, because heading down any further would be more dangerous. A single mistake could result in the loss of their lives. Shahao's speed was extremely fast, moving along the steep walls like a lizard. He headed downwards, arriving at 600 zhong in the blink of an eye. During this process, he didn't carefully search the stone walls, because he didn't care about ordinary weapon materials at all. When he reached this depth, the number of figures was extremely sparse, almost none in sight. It was because even if there were opportunities or natural luck, it wasn't as important as their own lives. No one was willing to throw away their lives. This is a piece of star essence fragment. Normally, not even sect masters can obtain it. Shahao cried out with shock. When he reached 800 zhong, he saw a damaged weapon on the cliff. Even after all these years, it still wasn't destroyed, flickering with sparkling luster. However, the powerful symbols within it had disappeared. When he reached 1,000 zhong, Shahao seemed to have sensed danger. The stone walls shone, producing mysterious symbols, almost turning him over, falling into the abyss. This is troublesome. However, I can feel some type of calling, as if it is becoming closer and closer. He frowned, not wishing to stop here. When he reached 1,300 zhong, Shahao felt a tremendous pressure. This stone wall made his heart tremble a bit. The energy that was released was becoming more and more terrifying. However, it was precisely at this time that he saw a sparkling speck several dozen jong below. After a slight bit of rest, he took a deep breath, and then headed downwards again. This is a willow leaf. Xiahou was shocked. He saw the willow deity's leaf again. It was green and lush, full of vitality. This stone wall was pierced through, creating a terrifying ditch. There were dark red blood stains on it, as well as mysterious symbols. There seemed to be an unmatched creature that was killed here. Inside the crack were 2 leaves, green and translucent. They were left behind after the willow deity fought a great battle. What exactly rests below? The willow deity has visited this place before. That type of calling isn't from the willow deity. Xiahou trembled inwardly. Thank you for watching.